Welcome to the Stoppage Time edition of the Pitch to Pro podcast. This is a highlight reel of some of the best moments from the show so far, and every other week we will be bringing you a special 5 to 7 minute segment featuring the best stories, tales, and moments of the podcast. How did this project get started? How did you guys get to be involved? How did you guys start along this path of creating the last nation in the world to have a national soccer team?
I guess that actually predates us. So before myself and Lloyd got involved, there are a board in the Marshall Islands right now who are taking ownership of furthering the project. So back in 2020, a guy called Shem Levai and a couple of other guys in the Marshall Islands, basically interest in the sport has grown massively. And I think in parallel with how it's grown in the States as well, popularity of soccer. So kids have awareness of what's going on. Messi, Ronaldo, they watch games and in the playground they're kicking the ball.
PSG fans and shirts.
Yeah.
Man City fans.
Yeah, literally. But there's no structure. There's no organised soccer taking place. So they recognised this and thought it was an opportunity and something needed to be done. Created the Marshall Islands Soccer Federation board, an organisation. Obviously, COVID happened, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
nothing really. They were pretty laying low for a couple of years. Myself and Lloyd both simultaneously, not knowing each other, read an article online on The Athletic about the last nation about soccer team and this board are on a mission to change this. And I think both of us were like, wow, this is in our Venn diagram of love and passion and skills.
Yeah.
Travel, soccer, adventure, and a bit of marketing too. I was like, I need to get involved in this.
Yeah.
Searched up Shem Levai on Facebook, wherever I could, any social media. Found his email, pestered him, said, I wanted to work for free, let me get involved. And yeah, that was in probably fall 22, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Started to get involved in a project. I was looking at it from top, what we're going to do. Obviously my background, brand, marketing.
Sure.
Lloyd's obviously coaching. So you had...
Yeah. So then mine was very similar. I read the same article, but at the same time I was doing blog sites and interviews on the site. I did one with a couple of guys from Samoa. And we started talking about their role, and I had a few people connect and watch and read the article, the interview from the Pacific. I reached out to a couple of different nations, one of them being Shem from the Marshall Islands, and he basically said, look, can you help us on the technical side? Can you help to grow the game? And obviously I started working on that project. You started working on the marketing side. Then randomly on LinkedIn, we realized, hang on.
we've never been introduced, by the way.
Working on this project. Shem's got us both working on something project. And never told us about each other.
They never told you
We just
guys.
happened to find each other because we were talking about the Marshall Islands. Yeah. Well, I'm doing it as well. Yeah, and then because what? Who are you? What are you doing? Oh, I know Shem. Well, I know Shem. Well, he's not told us.
No, I know Shem.
Shem he doesn't know you. And then, we got together. Basically, we're just like, look, we'll just put these together. So we had the technical side, we had the marketing side. I reached out to a guy called Justin Wally, who's part of our sort of trio of people. He looked after the press and communications, and then together we just worked out a strategy of, okay, what do we do? How do we do this? And from January 23, we just basically hit the ground running, and
It's been a full
from that point onwards,
14 or so months since that point.
Incredible. Well, you touched on it a little bit, and I'll have a little bit of an aside here. So you talked about kids knowing what's going on. You're seeing PSG shirts. You're seeing all these other different kits out there.
I've not seen
Ronaldo.
Is that the elephant in the room we need to discuss right now?
There's something in the room. For those that don't know, Lloyd is a Chelsea fan, and
Liverpool shirts there as well. Sorry,
Liverpool are recently crowned Carabao Cup or League Cup champions. The kids came out in the end to beat Mr. Ower's Chelsea. So I had to wear this today. This is kind of my uniform. I do wear soccer kits from all over the world today. So, but I understand you guys may be able to change.
To be honest, we need to change this for Lloyd's sake. I can see he's boiling up with rage. In honor of our appearance, we have the camera anyway. Marshall Islands Soccer Federation. That's our first ever national team jersey.
Oh wow!
I have history in the making. I think you look a lot. You'd wear this lot.
He looks better.
Oh, that would be incredible. I'd be happy to. This is great. Look at this. We'll get this on here. You even got the number right.
Was that?
That is.
Yeah.
I was the number 10.
Wow. Wearing it well. I like it.
We'll get it on there for the episode here.
There we go.
So there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
He's a rep in both, though, to be fair. Still the red sleeve.
Just teasing you.
Yeah. Just a tease.
Blue is the color.
So, I mean, you guys kind of touched on it a little bit. Bring people into your world. What is it like to start a national team from scratch? I mean,
Yeah.
we're that's what we're doing with this show is bringing people into our world here at USL Arkansas. And what is it like to start a professional soccer club?
Yep.
Kind of from scratch. You guys are doing something similar, but there's definitely different nuances to it. Not just from the location, obviously, but also a national team is very different, right? And so bring people into your world. What's that like?
Before we start, I think we'll give some shout outs to people who couldn't be with us today. Obviously, myself and Lloyd, we're on this trip this week. We're lucky enough to be invited in today. But there's a lot of other people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So you can mention, obviously, the board in Maduro.
Yeah, so we have Shem Levai, obviously, as the president. We have, the vice president, Divine Waity. The general secretary is John Kellimana.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the treasurer, Paul Domingo, and the non-executive board member, who is like the link to education system, is a guy called Tony Thiame. So they're the board members. But then we obviously, myself and Matt, we have Justin Wally, who is part of our main sort of trio of British guys involved.
Yeah.
And then, so Justin just finished actually in the Marshall Islands himself. He's just finished a trip there.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we've got Pat McStay, who's assistant.
Actually US based as well.
He's in Virginia. He's helping us with like player recruitment. We've got a couple of volunteers. So Em Miller, who's with us actually in Springdale. Assistant of kind of social media and outreach, and Max Hugin, who's a university student in the UK.
Okay.
So we're a small gang, and I think what we've achieved so far kind of belies. We're all volunteers, by the way. Like none of us are getting paid a dime for this. It's purely for the love of it, and it's probably taken over our lives much more than we can imagine. So probably rule one is it becomes all encompassing when you're starting a team. It's fantasy football or fantasy soccer. It's everything. Look, your question is, how do you start?
How do you start? I mean, there's differences, right? Between, we had to find a league. We had to get an expansion, yes, we want to go there.
Obviously, get
the
game like Matt said, the sport was liked anyway. People liked the sport. People wanted to play the sport, but didn't really have the structure or the infrastructure, I guess, to actually do it. And we're talking as low as equipment wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Balls, bibs, cones, goals, whatever, weren't there. So the first thing for us was making sure that we managed to get an awareness around the project. And once we realised announced on social media, the worldwide media took an interest quite quickly. And it was brilliant because it helped us to gain that awareness quite quickly. And then what that led to is people donating. So we had the kit and equipment going out to the Marshall Islands. We were able to use that. But then it was a case on like the technical side, I can cover that bit a lot. Obviously you can cover the other side of it. But I think from the technical aspect, it was a case of how do we grow the game? How do you get people to want to play?
Yeah.
The main thing was working from top down, bottom up, and meeting in the middle. Top down being, can we find players that around the world who are Marshallese? And fortunately, we did that, and that's why we were in Springdale.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the flip side, we had, how do we get kids playing?
Yeah.
So wrote like a school curriculum has been signed off. The Ministry of Education's allowing that to go into schools. Long term, kids will obviously grow up playing the game, and that's part of their PE, that physical education curriculum, so they can grow up to play the game. And then before I was able to obviously get out in the summer and have actual physical sessions that now run weekly, we had to make that appearance of, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it.
Thank you for joining us for this Stoppage Time special of the Pitch to Pro podcast. If you've enjoyed the conversation, you can click watch the full episode here. Be sure to tune in next Thursday for a new episode of the Pitch to Pro podcast, the official podcast of USL Arkansas. Available on YouTube, Instagram, and everywhere you get your podcasts.